Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And while we typically do fight FOMO on this channel, today we are coming to the defense of allocated whiskey.
Oh, snap.
Saucy.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we're talking about allocated whiskey. It's allocation season when this episode comes out, so it's kind of an important topic, and we're actually going to come to the defense of allocated whiskey. But before we do that, Erin, how you doing?
I'm good. We're going to try some ryes tonight, so I'm super pumped because I love a good rye.
You're a rye guy.
I'm a rye guy. Josh is not a rye guy. I'm a rye guy. What about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm super excited to get into these. We've tried both of these before.
Oh, we have?
We have.
Okay.
Well, I should say we've tried one of these before because we own a bottle. Okay. One of these, and this is a single blind, not like our typical double blind head-to-heads where we don't even have a clue what's in either glass. Those are every Thursday, shameless plug on the channel right here. Yeah. But one of these is Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye.
Okay.
And the other one is a sample from our buddy Barry Hawk of Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. We have not had this particular single barrel before.
Gotcha.
But we have had Jack Daniel's single barrel rye before.
Just not that one. Yeah. Not that barrel.
And apparently Jack Daniel's single barrel rye is hard for me to say sometimes because I just kind of
okay.
slurred it and I haven't even been drinking anything. So let's get into these two.
Okay.
I poured them, stepped out of the room. Erin positioned them so she didn't know what she was putting in what spot.
Yep.
But we do know that these are two in the glass. And we thought this would be a fun pour to have for this episode.
Yeah.
Because these are very whiskey nerd allocated bottles, but we'll get into talking about some of the more broader scope, general interest allocated, hyped up FOMO type bottles. So right now, let's get into glass one for our quick review.
Let's do it.
I'm not getting as much on the nose as I thought I would be.
Yeah.
Smelling my arm to reset my senses here because I know what I smell like. It's not great.
You always smell good. Except when you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells like whiskey. Like it smells like it smells. Like it's nothing jumping out at me specifically, but that's just me.
I'm getting ethanol, a lot of ethanol off of it, and I'm getting that banana Laffy Taffy note in there.
I never
and that's it. I'm not getting any oak or much deeper flavors, but
I got the banana Laffy Taffy.
You did it!
Because it's Laffy Taffy. So when I think...
Did it, cheesy bread?
I did it, cheesy bread. When I think regular banana, I don't get it. But if you think the syrupy, sweet, fake banana of a Laffy Taffy, I get it.
Yeah. And now that, I poured it, and now that it's kind of opening up in the glass a little bit, or I'm getting acclimated to it, I'm getting more of a syrupy undertone to it as well. So ethanol, banana Laffy Taffy, and syrup. Like you took a banana Laffy Taffy and wiped it through some syrup. And then
ate it.
And dipped it in moonshine and then ate it.
All right, let's try that.
Let's get into it.
Ooh. It has like a cherry. I got a cherry. Ooh.
That is big proof. Big. Oh.
It's like
the cherry on the back end.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's good.
And
it's almost like the juice of a cherry jar. Like when you get like the maraschino cherries from the store, like the juice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a syrupy consistency, big spice punch, right up
big
front.
Punch, and it's also kind of hit me right here right now.
Yeah, it almost burning. The flavor almost swells up in your mouth so much that you feel like you can't contain it. It just feels like it's expanding faster or larger than your mouth can even handle, if that even makes sense. And then it simmers down, and it goes into that cherry syrupy note on the back end. That is very interesting.
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely like a maraschino cherry. Maraschino, whatever those cherries are. But you can, like, those really bright dyed ones that are in the grocery store.
Tomato, potato.
Tomato, potato, whatever. You know, it's fine.
Yeah. However you choose to say it.
Let's call the whole thing off. All right.
That is exceptionally good on the flavor. That is big flavor. Yeah, I got to clear my palate after that because that is big, and it's coating too. It's clinging and coating everything in my palate.
And it kind of is lingering right in my esophagus area. It's a little... I don't love that. I knew we were getting some high proof stuff, so I was prepared. Still don't love it, but I was prepared for it.
Yeah. I like the big flavor. I like the big proof. That's kind of tends to be the wild type of ride that I like in a pour. Let's get into glass 2. This smells sweeter on the nose.
And I smell the ethanol. Does smell sweeter. Smells kind of more
I'm getting
like
a
syrupy.
little, yeah, I'm getting like a little bit more of like a vanilla tone on this glass.
Wanna go for a taste?
Almost like a buttercream type note. Let's get into it.
Ooh. That also has like a fruity flavor as well. Not as deep, but I get a cherry flavor from this one as well. But it's not as... It's like brighter.
Yeah. Glass 2 is significantly easier to sip than glass 1.
Agreed.
Glass 1 comes in really strong on the palate.
And it kind of
then
stays
tapers off.
strong a little bit.
Glass 2 comes in a little softer on the palate. And it doesn't swell as big. But man, it is rich and decadent in the flavor profile.
These are both good.
The experience of them is very different.
Mm-hmm.
The flavors, I think I'm going to have to go in for another sip because I'm trying to like mentally process everything that's going on in these glasses in like a little bit of a snapshot of time with a camera pointed at me.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be a little difficult when you've got 2 pours that have this much going on in them.
This one kind of reminds me of a cherry cola.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got maraschino cherry juice here and you got cherry cola here.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And this one also kind of lingers at the end. Like after a few sips, it's sticking around. They're
Man,
both good.
that is really good. Glass 2, the experience is totally different. Glass 2 feels like it's got a good healthy proof on it, but it has a lot of refinement to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas glass 1 is more like a sledgehammer.
Oh yeah.
This is like this feels like it's more of like a classical music piece in glass 2, and then glass 1 feels more like thrash metal.
I wouldn't go that far. No.
Yeah. To me it does. Oh man.
I don't know.
These are both, look, there's no loser here.
No, I would.
These are both very good.
I honestly, I give both of these. I'm gonna give both of these 2 thumbs up.
If you can get them at retail, I would give them both.
Yeah,
2
I have
thumbs
no
up.
idea what they cost.
On flavor, they're 2 thumbs up for
Yeah.
me. And I'm not even a big rye guy.
No,
but
yeah,
2
I
thumbs
have
up.
a preference. I think to glass 1.
Really?
I think,
Interesting.
which is surprising to me because it has probably maybe the more hard-hitting flavor. However, both of them get 2 thumbs up because I would not be mad with either one. They're both good.
Wow. Now going back to glass 1, it is something else.
Yeah.
Woo, boy, oh boy.
What do you give them? What do you think?
I mean, 2 thumbs up overall if you can get
Yeah.
them at retail. I think Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye, it was a one-time release. There was a lot of bottles that went out, but it was still hard to get. And well, I'd say by the time everybody figured out what it was, it went quick. Like everybody was like, Jack Daniel's Rye. And then people tried it and they're like, my goodness, this is amazing. Everybody bought it up. So I think it was a $70 bottle.
Okay.
I mean, it's a 2 thumbs up at that.
Yeah.
But the availability is not great and
Yeah.
it's now out of production. So,
Okay.
Hopefully Jack produces more regularly.
Yeah, but we're just doing this
Yeah.
on taste
Yeah.
and experience.
And I said 2 thumbs up on
Yeah.
taste. 2 thumbs up for both of them on taste. Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye, I think, is a $90 bottle. So more than the Jack. These are, whichever one is which, it's great. Like, they're both great.
They're both good.
Yeah.
They're both good. I mean, I said I had a slight preference to glass 1. I probably, on a different day, would have a slight preference to glass 2. Like, they're both really good.
I think today, my preference lies in glass 2.
You just want to be different than me. That's what it is.
No, I'm liking the subtleties in glass 2. I like the sledgehammer that is glass 1.
And normally I do not like that.
Yeah.
But I think the maraschino cherry situation,
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I kind
Yeah.
of dig that. And I never get that. I never get those flavors, so I like
Right.
it.
Well, I really do like the sledgehammer that is glass 1.
Mm-hmm.
But today, for whatever reason, my vibe, I'm feeling glass 2 a little bit more just because of the nuance. And both are great. You can't go wrong. Let's find out what's what. And then
Okay.
we'll talk about allocated bourbon.
All
So,
right.
glass
Glass
1,
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
Wow.
There you go. Glass 2, Old Forester.
Old Forester.
Yeah, that makes sense. There is
Yeah.
a little bit of a proof difference here, but not a ton. The Old Forester is 127.6 proof.
Okay.
The Jack Daniels is 135.1 proof,
Oh, dang.
which is as high as I've seen any of the single barrel Jack Daniels ryes being.
Wow. That makes
definitely
sense.
is a sledgehammer.
Why it it's still burning right here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know which one it is, but it's probably the first one. Still burning right here.
Yeah, it's the lingering effects
Yeah.
of it are still burning.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about allocated whiskey,
Okay,
allocated bourbon.
And
let's sip on these while we do it.
Okay.
In defense of allocated bourbon and whiskey in general, because we're coming into allocation season, there are some good things about it. Now, we typically do tend to kind of go hard against FOMO around here. We don't like to feed into the hype.
Well, we don't like to feed into the hype of just feeding into the hype.
Right.
If something is worth the hype or worth the attention, then that's fine.
Right.
But just don't get caught up in it.
These are a good example of that.
Yeah.
At retail, you should go out of your way to pick either one of these up if you have the opportunity to.
I would agree.
Now,
and I don't even like to spend a lot of money on whiskey, and I would agree.
Yeah. Now, should you pay $200, $300, $400, $500 on secondary for these? If you have access to a secondary market, that's up to you.
Yeah.
We would say no.
We would say no only because we could get something that we like.
Only because we're cheap.
Well, we're cheap, and then we could get something that we like just as well for less money.
Yeah.
But for retail price, yeah.
Yeah. So they're worth the hype of getting there and trying to get it at retail.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't personally stand in lines. If I can't show up 15 minutes before the place opens and get there, I'm not going to wait in the line. I'm definitely not camping out overnight.
Yeah.
And I realize that there's something fun in that for some people, and you get to talk to the other people in line, and it's a whole experience.
And if that's what you enjoy doing, then more power to you. Like, that's fine.
And this is cool in this hobby that you can do that.
Yeah.
It offers that aspect for you. But you've got to be realistic about what you're doing and why you're doing it, because truth be told, we have put things in blinds. We've done 100+ blinds now on this channel. Well, not only on this channel, but in general. Like, we're doing blinds all the time. I can't even keep count of how many blinds we've done.
Yeah.
But what we found is that the allocated stuff is really good, but oftentimes it doesn't stand out as being anything super special.
Right.
Certainly not worth some of the things that people do for it, unless you have fun doing that.
Right.
But if you think you're going to get much better whiskey, maybe not.
That's not necessarily the case.
Right.
However,
with that said, there is something to be said for whatever you want to call it, the placebo effect, the psychological effect. And we've got a few bottles here.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and it's not even that. It's what it can do for when you share it.
Yeah. So there's certainly something to be said if you're hanging out with friends and you pull out a bottle of Wild Turkey 101 to share versus you pull out something like an Old Fitz Decanter Series or a George T. Stagg or Stagg Jr. Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, something that's very difficult to get. That point, it becomes something more. Like, it kind of, the rarity amplifies the experience.
It creates a moment too, as well, like because of the allocation of the bottle. Like, that person's like, oh, that's so cool, and they maybe get to try something that they would never otherwise get to try. Right. And it would make it a memorable experience.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody talks a lot of times about having a special occasion bottle. And you would think that George T. Stagg would be a special occasion bottle for us, or Old Fitzgerald Decanter bottles would be a special occasion bottle for us. We got very lucky to get both of these at retail, but we don't pull them out for special occasions.
We pull them out for guests.
Yeah. I've drank one pour off of this.
Yeah.
And I think I maybe have drank 1 or 2 pours off of this. Just personally.
Yourself,
yeah. But everything else that's out of these bottles has been because we've had guests, and I'm like, hey, have you ever tried George T. Stagg? Have you ever tried Old Fitzgerald Decanter Series? And then it becomes a point of trying something new, having this wholly new experience with someone, and us being us, me being me. Typically what I'll do is like, have you ever had George T. Stagg? All right, cool. Are you willing to do a blind? Let's put it in there with some other stuff.
And see what you think.
Yeah. And then, like, once we do the blind, let's have another pour of just a George T. Stagg with some framed expectations as to what you're actually getting. That is a ton of fun. And when we do bottle shares, it's always nice to show up with something that's rare or limited. Right. Even if that's just a store pick that other people may not have been able to try.
So the rarity does make something special. And I think that is something that's even amplified when you share with others.
And it's fun too. Let's be honest. Like, totally realistically here, trying rare allocated whiskey is fun if you're a whiskey nerd.
Yeah.
If you don't know what an Old Fitzgerald Decanter series is, but you see that bottle, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But maybe the George T. Stagg or like a Stagg Junior bottle, like the little shorty, stumpy bottles, like they're not visually impressive. And you might pull that out for somebody that's not a whiskey nerd, which if you don't give a whiskey nerd 130 proof whiskey.
Don't give a non-whiskey nerd.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
You know what I meant. But, that bottle doesn't make an impression. And if they don't know that that's rare, it's not going to impress them.
Right. Well, and that's okay. Like for me, I only know of a handful of allocated names. So I now know that George T. Stagg is a special bottle. But prior to this channel, you could have been like, you want some George T. Stagg? And I'm like, yeah, cool. Okay. I would have no idea that it was something important. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you've got your other products that maybe aren't heavy hitters, as I would call them. Mm-hmm. Some more standard type of stuff like your Blantons. This is a product that a ton of people hunt. Mm-hmm. Elmer T. Lee is a product that a ton of people hunt. Mm-hmm. These are bottles that people will wait in line for. They'll go out of their way for. Wow. They'll pay many, many times over retail for. This is a $40 bottle of whiskey. This is a $60 bottle of whiskey. People will often pay double, triple for this. People will pay, math is hard, but people will pay like 6 times retail or more for this.
Wow.
I've had both of these. They're good whiskey. They're priced fairly at MSRP.
Yeah.
So is it worth paying more for? Only you can decide that. Mm-hmm. But if you have these and you're sharing them with a guest and they've never had this before and you're able to give them that unique experience, mm-hmm. I mean, in some ways that's priceless.
Yeah.
To be honest, as much as I don't want to say it because I don't like FOMO and I don't like feeding into hype, these products offer something that is somewhat priceless. And if you and your buddy sit down and drink through a bottle of Elmer T. Lee,
well, you need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, not in one night. But like, let's say you're on a trip or something and you and some of your buddies go through a bottle of Elmer T. Lee. That's created an experience.
Yeah.
Now, we have experiences like that with certain bottles as well.
Yeah, we do.
And they're not rare, crazy, hyped up bottles necessarily.
But they mean a lot to us because of the shared experiences that you and I had with those bottles.
Right. But if you're with whiskey nerds and it can be something rare and limited, then it can be more fun.
Yeah.
So it would be disingenuous of us to come on here and go hard against FOMO and hard against the hype. And we do sometimes. But we also recognize that there is something to it. And that's when we get a chance to buy a bottle like George T. Stagg. That's exactly what we do. We share it.
There's a place for it.
Yeah.
And it's not maybe necessarily what you should focus on, but there is a place for those allocated bottles.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. Let's get into some other stuff. What you got?
Other stuff this week, we're going to go a little watch nerd.
Yeah.
And
one of Josh's other hobbies.
Well, yeah. And we go to Nashville Watch Club meetups.
We do.
And it's a good time. We have a really great group of people in that regard.
Yep.
And we just talked about last week the great community that is whiskey. The watch community is also really, really great.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the Nashville market. Yeah. Which that's kind of a Nashville thing. So if you don't live here, sorry, but
come visit.
Yeah, come visit. Yeah. But let's get into watch nerd stuff here.
Okay.
Because we're talking about things that are special in their own right.
Yep.
And we're going to get into Erin's watch strap. So,
well, one of my 2 watch straps.
Yep. And I have a strap from Alexander as well. But this is a Vel Alexander handmade custom watch strap out of Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And we have family in Minnesota, but we actually don't know Alexander through that. I know him through the Watch Nerd Space, Instagram. These straps are something else.
Amazing quality straps.
Yeah, he is a craftsman. So I just want to paint a picture for you guys, and I'll throw some photos up that I've taken of Erin's watch with the strap on it and some photos of a watch I own that have this strap on it. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. I got one of these straps, and I have many straps from many different strap makers, but then Erin got this special watch for this special occasion, and we wanted to get her a couple of straps, a brown and a black strap specifically to have to wear.
To change it out.
And she's my wife. I love her, and I wanted her to have the best.
Yeah.
And there was not even a second of delay or pause in my decision making,
no, for sure.
I immediately contacted Vel Alexander, and I'm like, my wife is getting the special watch. I want 2 special straps for her. This is what we're looking for. He went through the whole process.
Oh
They're entirely handmade, handcrafted.
So good.
You're gonna pay for them. They're a few $100s, but
they're worth it. If you have a special watch that you want a special strap for, or just a really high quality strap, it's so worth it.
Yeah, this isn't the thing that you're gonna throw on and wear every once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
this is the thing that, hey, I want my staple foundational watch strap. I want something that I can invest some money into,
right. Well, and
it's gonna last.
For me personally, like, you have multiple watches that you wear. I have one watch that it's very new. I don't like wear anything else other than this one watch, so I wanted a couple straps, brown one and a black one, because sometimes you want to wear brown and sometimes you want to wear black, and it just makes me feel like I'm wearing a different watch each time.
There are other options out there, but when you want something special, you really can't beat this right here. Totally handmade again,
and the craftsmanship is worth it.
And this is not sponsored.
No, oh no,
at all. I thought to myself, as soon as you got that watch, I was like, okay, we got to get 2 straps. I'm going to the best. And there was no doubt. And I don't even know how many straps I've had. Yeah. From all different price straps, points. Yeah. And I've had straps of comparable cost to this, but everything is only coming close to the quality. Nothing is exceeding this quality. Yeah. So shout out to Vel Alexander.
And we'll leave his, does he have he has a website, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, he has a website, Instagram. We'll leave all that stuff in the description below. Check it out if you're looking for something really, really special. It's worth it. And if you think this channel is something really, really special,
I see what you did there.
This is becoming my new thing of how cheesy can I make the transition
into
talking about the end of the episode stuff. So check the video description link below. You'll find our Patreon link down there. You can join in the community. You can get plugged in. You can see all the stuff that we have. As little as $3 a month gets you in the door, and we're constantly posting on there. We've got a Discord channel where we're having our community element because we're not really on social media, but you can see all that down there. You can also see the dates of our upcoming live stream down there, which is always a ton of fun.
Well, that's it for today. So thank you for watching today's video. We really appreciate your time. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. We also would really appreciate that as well. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We post videos twice a week. So hit that notification bell to be notified whenever we post so you don't miss one.
And it'll tell you when our live streams are coming up too.
It'll tell you when our live streams are coming up. So you want to hit that notification bell. But you have to be subscribed to do it. So go ahead, subscribe.
Yeah. And we know some of you aren't.
Yes.
Till next week, guys.
Cheers.